Hey everyone, it's Fox from Inferno Fox Gaming. On May 7th, the president of Nintendo, Shintaro Furukawa, had tweeted that the Switch's successor will be made within this fiscal year, meaning by the end of March 2025. And within that same tweet, within it, he confirmed that there's going to be no mention of said successor in the next direct, but they confirmed there's going to be a direct this month in June, and that lets us here all speculate just what the heck is going to be on this show. And to that end, myself and my special guests here are going to be speculating on what we think is going to appear on these 40 minutes of gold, because it's all going to be great content, right? Right? So let me introduce our first guest here. We have Feral Inferno from the YouTube channel of the same name. And again, I'm going to post a link in the description to his channel, and I absolutely recommend checking out his content for fun live gameplays that are held on Wednesday and Saturday nights, as well as cool content like his Game of the Year series. So Feral, thanks for joining us in this speculation bomb here.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to talk some Nintendo, as you can see in the background. So always excited to talk some Nintendo with some good friends.
Absolutely. And speaking of good friends, next up we have Rad Bash Gaming. Not only of the YouTube channel of the same name, but also one of the members of the Super Retro Force. And Rad's got some fun live gameplays, pickup videos, game content, and the like. And don't forget to check out Super Retro Force. Again, links in the description below. Rad, thank you so much for joining. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. Always love coming on the channel. Always a good time. Always down to talk video games.
Yes. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. We also have part of the Inferno cast, Jason the 13th, again from the YouTube channel of the same name, where he's got a ton of great Pokemon live content and with some fun commentary, as well as a little bit of Zelda peppered here and there. So Jason, thank you so much for joining us.
Not a problem. Always glad to be around.
And finally, we have my partner and partner in crime, Jamie Owls, where you can catch her not only on the Inferno cast, but on the monthly series of games that we are playing. So, Jamie Owls, thank you for joining too.
Thank you for having me. I'm just very proud that I didn't have the giggle fits like the last video that we did. And if anybody notices, I'm using my camera this time. I don't have a picture of myself.
Let's
And my
go.
background are just mostly books. I don't have any video game, but I did wear my Yoshi shirt.
Nice. Very, very nice. And knowing again that the Nintendo Direct itself is going to be just over 40 minutes with some potential bangers at the beginning and the ending. There are some signs that this could be an epic showing to what will essentially be one of the last directs focused on the OG Nintendo Switch. And of course, for all the games coming in the second half of the year, because Luigi's Mansion 2 HD is the only thing that we know that's coming in the second half of the year. So besides, of course, rumors and everything. So we're going to be splitting our discussion into three parts. Predictions for the Nintendo franchises, where a good bulk of our fun will be had. Some predictions for third-party games. And then final section will be the kind of the fun thing where miscellaneous and tropey things, because it's not a Nintendo Direct without some of the commonalities that we like to see with that. So let's go ahead and break into the Nintendo franchises, what we think we might see. And we're going to start with Super Mario, or really anything with Mario in it. And I've got two predictions for this, and I'm going to start with one. And I see a new sports title, a new Mario sports title, something especially like Mario Baseball, like Mario, what is it, Mario Slugfest, I could see being the next thing, because on off years of main Mario releases, we tend to get these sports titles on the Switch. Or with that said, something like the Mario Sports Remix. And as I'm saying that, I'm realizing that it's an Olympics year, so we could see another Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games.
Yep.
So Rad, what are your thoughts about Mario, possible Mario showing up?
So I definitely agree with the sports title, and actually that I was thinking the same thing. I definitely see See, I was leaning more towards like soccer again, but as I say that, they just had a soccer one, I want to say.
Yeah, the
Um,
strikers.
Strikers, yeah. So I definitely I think baseball is very likely, but I do think because it is an Olympic, we might see a Mario and Sonic at the Olympics. Um, I personally I feel like they're on the remake kick lately. I could see a remake of something coming out. That seems very likely because I think what they did RPG and Thousand Year Door just now, like it just came out, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
last month.
Yeah, it was yeah last month. It was like soon. So I think they would do another remake. It's Nintendo that sleeping on Mario is not an option. Don't do that.
Yeah. So, Farrell, how about you? What are your thoughts on Mario?
Well, I'm going to ruin this Mario Party right here, right now.
Mario Party.
This There's going to be no Mario, zero Mario,
Really?
with the exception, of course, of Luigi's Mansion 2 HD. And here's the reason why: because we have not had H true, and Mario Wii U, new Mario Wii U, whatever it was called, doesn't count. That's not a real game, not a real big Mario game. The last Nintendo console that launched with a Mario game was the Nintendo 64 in 1996 with a real AAA experience Mario game where like this was a show. This was the main attraction. 1996. That's nearly 30 years ago. It's Mario's time to shine with this new console. Not only that, this new console, I say, has to launch with a Mario game, which means Mario now goes into a slight hibernation. We got a lot of Mario with the Switch, a lot of Mario. We just got
Yes.
the unexpected
Yeah.
Thousand-Year Door, which is amazing. Who would have ever expected that? I mean, that's crazy. It's awesome, but crazy that we got it. I think Mario takes the hibernation until the Switch successor, and that's when we see him and he makes the big grand entrance in the Mario game that blows us all away.
Can I add to that to add to that logic? Next year, 40th anniversary.
True.
Ooh.
There you go. Yeah, 1985. Yeah, you're right on.
So they do a 40th anniversary of the OG Super Mario Brothers with a grand celebration with the new Switch and the Switch successor and a brand new game launch title, because it of course had been rumored the Switch successor did get delayed because they wanted to make sure it launched with strong software, further lending credence to your logic.
Yeah, that's a great point. I didn't even think about the 40th anniversary. And look what they did for the 35th anniversary.
Oh my
It was
gosh.
it was a lot. It was a lot. I think some people were expecting a little bit more of in terms of a new title, but I mean, still like the 3D All Stars and the Game and Watch, like all the other little extra stuff as well. I thought they did a nice job with that 35th anniversary, and I think the 40th is going to be huge.
Absolutely. Jamie Owls, how about you? What are your thoughts with Mario in the Nintendo Direct?
I'm kind of predicting, along with what Rad Bash has said, like a puzzle. So I wouldn't be surprised if they announced something like a Dr. Mario, like a remake, or Dr. Mario 2, some sort of puzzle. Like, I don't see another Mario game until the next Switch comes out, like a brand new Mario game, because the last one was Mario Wonder. I
Oh
know
yeah,
the
just last year.
Yeah, the Thousand Year Door was remastered, no, remake, not remastered. So I really see something related to Mario, like just something small, and then they'll wait until the next system to announce something bigger.
Okay. Jason, how about you?
I'm kind of on the side with Farrell over here that in the last year we, including Luigi's Mansion 2 coming out, we just got like 8 Mario titles. And speaking of new Mario, we didn't just get Wonder. We got the Mario versus Donkey Kong, which I have not gotten to try at all. So we got technically new Mario games, even though they're not the big Mario like Odyssey 2 Mario. So I don't think we'll see Mario unless it's a sports game. And the Olympics one, would be right up their alley. We haven't had a Mario and Sonic Olympics, and I don't even know how long it's been now, but it would be a great time to throw that out there right at the end of the Switch.
Yeah, absolutely. And you think about the Mario saturation, Mario versus Donkey Kong, Thousand Year
Hmm.
Door, Princess Peach Showtime, Luigi's Mansion 2, four different games for the Mario series characters. So yeah, Farrell, I think you've made a very compelling argument with that. My second idea for a Mario thing is a so Nintendo, they like to dedicate some time to DLC, I noticed with these directs. I think they're going to surprise us with Paper Mario Thousand Year Door DLC, Super Paper Luigi. This is my out there, uh, this is my out there prediction where anybody who's played Thousand Year Door knows that Luigi's always at Rogueport talking about his adventures to Mario. You know, that's a whole thing. Da 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 da. And while playing the game yesterday, I ran into a character that even said something about Luigi having his own game, Super Paper Luigi. So why not have a larger DLC set in the vein of something like Xenoblade 3, where it is also a potential backdoor plot device to Super Paper Mario and Mr. L and all that kind of craziness. It's almost like how Chrono Trigger DS was it was trying to too hard to backdoor to Chrono Cross. But that's just that's my crazy out there Mario wish, because yeah, I'd say that's pretty crazy.
It's a good idea. It's a great idea.
Yeah.
But let's move on to another one of the fantastic Nintendo franchises tangentially related to Mario, and that, of course, is the big ape himself, Donkey Kong. And my big question is, like, whatever happened to that DK game that was supposedly being made by the Mario Odyssey team? Because
Hmm.
that had been in the works for like years now, or that was a rumor from a couple years ago. And then I heard something more recently from like the Did You Know Gaming people that there was a 3D Mario game being made by Bandai Namco or Ubisoft or something like that, but it was canceled. So it's kind of like, is there going to be something like that? Jamie Owls, what are your thoughts?
It's been a long time it's been a while since we had a Donkey Kong game. Tropical Freeze was released how many years now? And
10
we
years
have
now.
Yeah.
how many?
10 years.
10 years. I think fans will go wild if they actually announce a new Donkey Kong. I know I will, because I do like them. I think they're fun. It's just weird to me that nobody has heard anything about it. I know the room, like you said, rumors that supposedly Kong is being made, and it's just kind of like, get on with it, because a lot of these fans are really anticipating for one, and it would be a big deal if they would make that announcement on this new direct.
Absolutely. Farrell, any thoughts on Donkey Kong?
It's weird. Like Donkey Kong has come up so much today. I was watching Complete Geek TV's Summer Game Fest stream today, and they were talking about Donkey Kong, and then Surge Man X comes out with a video about Donkey Kong Country. So now we're talking about Donkey Kong Country. Now I'm thinking, but I mean, there's always those rumors. Sometimes there is some smoke to the fire, sometimes there's not. And then sometimes, even if there is that smoke to the fire, like things fall through the cracks all the time. Things like fall apart. We've seen years later Metroid 64 was a possible thing, and all these other types of things out there. But I mean, if we did see something, now that I'm just thinking about it, I would love to see Mercury Steam take a stab at the Donkey Kong Country franchise and see what they could do with that after seeing what they did with Metroid Dread. I think that would be kind of cool to see them take on the mantle. Now that we know Retro Studios is not going to be handling that because they're very busy with another title, but I would love to see Mercury Steam take on Donkey Kong Country. That would be cool to see that.
That's a good call. So it kind of follows that Metroid to Donkey Kong pipeline that Retro Studios has sort of forged the pathway there. But that does make sense, and even just the thought process that with how well that they did with Dread, I like that. I think that would be pretty cool. Rad, what are your thoughts on DK?
So if we did see anything from Donkey Kong, it wouldn't be anything big. I love Donkey Kong, but I have a feeling with the new console, it maybe they'll port over the Wii, the Donkey Kong Returns. But outside of that, I think we're in a weird spot right now where they're going to keep their heavies close to their chest, but they're still going to give us enough to go, okay, here you go. So I could see that being a thing. I think they could remaster or port it, the Wii version. But outside of that, I don't think we'll see much from Donkey Kong for a little bit.
Yeah, and thinking about it, with them just releasing a Donkey Kong game in January, Mario versus Donkey Kong, that's true. Moving on from Donkey Kong and Jason the 13th, you're on deck here for this next franchise, and that of course is The Legend of Zelda. I've heard constant drumming of a Wind Waker Twilight Princess double pack, which has been like the go-to rumor mill sort of deal, I think for like 3 or 4 years, 5 years, as Farrell has generously shown me there. 5 years. Gosh, it's crazy how much time has gone by since the Switch has been out. There's not going to be a new evergreen title this year because Tears was just released last year. Generally, they generally try to release a Zelda game every year. I think the exception was 2022 when they didn't release anything. But Jason the 13th, what are your guesses, thoughts for a potential Zelda appearance on the Direct?
If we see a Zelda, I think it'll be more maybe a couple more games for the like NES Online, Super Nintendo Online, stuff like that. I don't think we'll get a new Zelda game. And I know the last 2 systems they did Zelda as their big opening and closing game, where it was on the Wii and the Wii U. Oh, the Wii U and the Switch. So I think I'm going to bring that one up again later, because I think they're going to go with a different franchise for the end of the Switch to the Switch 2 and do a big game for that. So, but I don't think we'll see any Zelda. I don't think we'll see Donkey Kong, because just to slide it in there was rumors about them doing Donkey Kong movie after the Super Mario Brothers movie. And they missed the jump on Donkey Kong just having his anniversary. So I think their best bet would be to hold off on Donkey Kong until they do the movie now. So I don't think we'll see DK or Zelda.
Yeah, it's funny too, because like I'll be asking you guys about movies because movie stuff have appeared on the directs before, and other crazy pointless stuff like museums and their Universal Studios theme park stuff. I only say pointless because it's not about actual video games that we play.
Right.
The movies are fantastic. I'm sure the museum would be great if it wasn't just in Japan. And I can't wait to get to Super Nintendo World. But we watch the directs for the video games, not not stuff. But that's just me.
100%.
Rad, what are your thoughts about Zelda?
So I'll touch a little bit because I know Farrell and I have the exact same mindset on this. If they do Zelda, it will be nothing big. It will be it'll be the maybe the Wind Waker Twilight, but now would be the perfect time because we're in that, like I said, that weird period. Also, I believe, and this could be out there thing, I see them remaking like they did Link's Awakening. I could see I personally believe Link to the Past. I could see them doing that in the same style they did Link's Awakening, because that's just enough to keep you interested in Zelda, but nothing that says system seller. It's nothing that makes you go out and buy a Nintendo. Like Jason said, Donkey Kong and Zelda, that's the heavies. I think they're holding those close to the chest right now. Nothing big, because that's what's going to get you to buy the Switch 2 or whatever it is. That is what's going to get you to go do that.
So no remake in the vein of Oracle of Ages Seasons, for the way Link's Awakening was done.
I could see that, and that's what I'm saying. Any of those I see getting remade into the Link's Awakening style. That's really about it outside, or a port. Like I said, the Wind Waker over on the Switch, probably not a collection because it is Nintendo. They're really weird with their collection, so it may be Twilight Princess and Wind Waker. I don't see them being a dual package, but it would either be a remake of something or a port, nothing new.
Farrell, is Red on the same wavelength as you on that?
Pretty similar, but yeah, same thing. It will not. I will tell you right now, it will not be a double pack. I would love it to be a double pack, but not only can they sell both of them for $60 each if they wanted to, they could.
Mhm.
It would cost them more money because having all that data on one cartridge, that's 2 Wii U games, right? On one cartridge, that's a lot of data. That those cartridges cost a lot more money than a disc does. So that's another reason why you wouldn't see that. And they're not going to release both of them separately either. It's only going to be one. You'll get one remake and that's it for the Switch coming out, because there's only so much time, right? You don't want to hinder the sales of one over another. I think the number one choice is the Wind Waker HD. I think that's number one. The furthest time has been away from it. We just had the realistic Zelda with Tears of the Kingdom. They typically go realistic, cartoony, Twilight Princess would be another, HD would be the next one, I would say, only because it's been done. They could easily port it if for whatever reason they didn't decide to do Wind Waker, but I think it will be Wind Waker. The third one, I did bring this up on a stream recently at the end when I was just chatting with people. Funny enough, a Sonic stream, I was talking about Nintendo Direct, but but I had a thought during that time talking with people was, I think another kind of remake they could bring to the Switch that I think would be kind of cool would be A Link Between Worlds. I think that would be a kind of a cool little game to bring to the Switch, remake that. I don't think they'd have to put too much towards that. It's more of a kind of upscaling from where it was, because it already had kind of that 3D-ish kind of graphics to it. I think you could upscale that. You get someone similar to the company. I can't remember their name. I think it started with an M, but they are the ones who brought Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask to the 3DS. Maybe you bring them back on to bring A Link Between Worlds. Everything, there's so many links in those names. Link Between Worlds to the Switch. I think that would be a cool one. That's kind of my wild card for Zelda. But I think Wind Waker HD is the most likely title we'll see.
Can we will that into fruition? Not only Link Between Worlds, but it's essentially this. It is actually the same exact world, but have it a double pack, Link Between Worlds and Link to the Past remade in that same fashion.
Funny story is that A Link Between Worlds started out as a Link to the Past remake.
Oh, I believe it. Oh my gosh, could you imagine how great that looks? And I'm not a 3DS fan. I don't like the form factor of the 3DS, but I like the software. It's an excellent software system, and it's an awful hardware set. And I would love for that to be like a remake of Link to the Past. Oh man.
You and I need a fight stream. We need a fight stream talking about the 3DS because I love it.
Oh my gosh. Speaking of the franchises and stuff that we love, one of my most beloved franchises, I mean, I love all of these Nintendo franchises, but one that I always gets the biggest amount of attention. And Farrell, I'm going to have you lead off with your guess for Metroid.
Yeah, I have some thoughts on Metroid. This when we were talking about doing this was the thing I've given the most thought to, other than probably Mario. I think we see two Metroid titles at this Direct, and here's why I say that. I think we see finally. Not much. It's a grain of sand. Okay, they're gonna give us just a little bit, a taste, not enough to even whet our appetites, but it's gonna be something just to show us it's alive and well of Metroid Prime 4. But we're not gonna get a release date. It's just like, we're so sorry. The typical. We're still working at. Please be patient. Like usually what we see with Zelda, they're gonna do this with Metroid now, right? That's what Nintendo's going to do. That's my prediction there. And then they're going to be like, but one more thing. after that, and then they're gonna show Metroid Prime 2 remastered to say, hey, get ready for Metroid Prime 4 by playing Metroid Prime 2 remastered. And because people do need to play the other games, and like they're hard to get, especially I think Metroid Prime 3 is a fairly expensive game now, I believe. But you know, people, it's been a while since people have played these games, get back into the story. It's something to sell on the Switch for the holiday season. We saw how well Metroid Prime Remastered did. They did a small batch of that and it sold out and was going crazy on eBay right away. So there's a lot of demand for Metroid content right now, especially Metroid Prime.
Yeah, you pinned exactly what I was thinking with that, with the thought that maybe Prime 3 might make an appearance with 2, and the fact that if they do a 2 and or a 3, they're not going to be as robust a remaster or remake as Prime 1 was. That was kind of my thinking. Jason, what are your thoughts? Are you kind of in line with us, or what do you think?
Kind of. I am hoping and praying that we actually get the Metroid Prime 2 remastered, and that will be like one of their big things. Metroid Prime 4, this is where I was touching on the Zeldas being over the 2 consoles. I'm wondering if that will be their big title for the end of the Switch, to where you see Metroid Prime 4 on the Switch and on the Switch 2, like they've done the Zeldas instead. It is the biggest one that everyone seems to be talking about, and with no Zeldas to fill that gap, I think that would be a great one to do for their release day one. So I don't think we'll get Prime 4 just yet. They'll save that for the Switch 2's release, but I would love to see the remastered of number 2.
Definitely. Yeah, and it's because it's been 7 years since it was announced by that animated GIF, what have you, and it's been a little over 5 years since the one Nintendo executive bowed in apology, stating that the development had to get reset. So 5 years, I mean, 4 to 6 year production life cycle, that makes sense for a game to be this size. Rad, any other thoughts with Metroid?
You know, I've never really played a Metroid game. I know, blasphemy. My partner's a huge Metroid fan, and I almost became single when I told her that. You know,
Yeah, man, we're not even friends anymore after I heard that.
I need to. I hear great things. I played Prime a little bit on the GameCube forever ago, and I enjoyed it. I need to get back in the series, but I think Fox was on the money of we'll get a taste. We'll get a little. It was Fox or Farrell? I'm sorry. When you guys mentioned we'll have a taste. It was Farrell. It was Farrell.
Yeah.
Mentioned the taste. Yeah, Farrell mentioned the taste. I think we'll get a slight little like touch of the because that again that's a heavy, but they don't really do a lot of Metroid back to back. From what I've seen, it's kind of always spaced out really well with that one. So if they have Prime 4 coming, I think we'll get like the hey, guess what? It's still around, and maybe I could see them doing Prime 2 again. Not a dual pack. I don't see dual packs happening.
No.
A Metroid Prime 2, and then maybe a 3. $60 a piece or 40 or whatever, but not a dual pack. But that you do, from my understanding, the Prime games are pretty story driven, so you need to be, if they're going to do 4, you need to have been caught up with everything, especially since it's been 3 came out on the Wii.
Yeah,
I want to say. And Farrell, to answer your question, you had said you weren't sure if 3 was expensive. It's the Metroid Prime trilogy on the Wii that's expensive. Yeah. 3 itself isn't very expensive.
Good point. Yes, you're right. Yeah, I was thinking a trilogy. Thank you.
I'm up to date on all the game prices now. So yeah, it's the trilogy itself that's expensive, but 3 I think is like $20.
Yeah, it's funny because Dread released at the end like October of 21. 13 months later, Prime 1 Remastered comes out, and then now we are about 16 months past that. So if they did a shadow drop of 2 immediately after the Direct, because there is an example of that with Prime 1 Remastered, they did that. So then it's another like year and a half period. Then they announced Prime 4. Then they shadow drop Samus and Fork Knife, and then all of a sudden everybody's talking about Metroid, and that's not not happening. That's a bridge too far.
That's wishful thinking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
wishful thinking.
Jamie Owls, I know you don't really play Metroid a lot, but you've seen me play a lot of Metroid. Do you have any thoughts about Metroid on the Nintendo Direct or anything?
I'm just surprised that I still haven't played it either, given that it's led by a strong female character. You would think I would have played, but I just hope they'll announce something for all the Metroid fans out there, because I know everyone's anticipating for a new game, and there's been little teases here and there getting everyone excited. But I do agree with everyone. I think maybe they'll just kind of announce like a remake of 2, and then 4 may come out for the holiday seasons instead, or wait until like the new system next year. I mean, I really think any like bigger games will probably wait until next year.
Yeah,
That's what I'm really seeing.
100%.
that makes sense. While we're in space, I want to talk about another space related franchise, and I'm gonna lead this one off. I not Star Fox, not because I don't see Star Fox making any sort of appearance. I think the oft rumored F-Zero GX remaster is going to be announced, and potential release date within a 6 to 12 month period. There has been a strong, very strong amount of rumors behind a new GX coming back in some way, shape, fashion, or whatnot. And it was it probably still is one of the best looking GameCube games that you can also play in widescreen. Like it's amazing, and it running 60 frames per second like Metroid Prime Remastered does. I mean, it would be phenomenal if they added in like an online mode or something like that. And they've seen how popular the F-Zero 99 was, at least in the beginning. So they're able to see the user wise, how many people were able to play that, what sort of interest level, and that it's not a dead franchise. We at least got something on the Switch, but that's my thought. Rad, I saw you're reacting a bit. What do you think about F-Zero?
Yeah, so funny enough, I was just talking about this like 2 days ago. A coworker of mine was like, "Hey, they're going to port they're going to do the Nintendo Online thing they do, and they're going to do GameCube." And he was talking about F-Zero. I don't believe that'll happen, and I'll tell you why. They can remaster those and sell them for $60.
And they're good. They're doing it too.
Yes, they are, and so there's no way they're doing GameCube. I could see an F-Zero remake or from the GameCube. I could see a port. Let's call it that. It looks a little sharper. I don't see that happening anytime soon, though, only because that's something people really want. The F-Zero fans you guys have gotten nothing. You guys have had nothing for a while. You got what the F-Zero 99 thing that was, and that was, I don't know if any of you guys played. That was awful. That hurt my head. I can put up with anything, but that was terrible. So I think that one, when I'm talking close to the chest, that's close to the chest. Like that's hey, we'll throw that out on the next one. I would love to see it. But as loved as that franchise is, that is a slept on franchise by Nintendo. Nintendo does not acknowledge that exists at all.
Yeah, that's I could see that, but like I don't know, maybe it's time for
I
Jax
agree
to shine.
But it's time. But I'm just saying.
But like, yeah, us F-Zero fans are thirstier than 16-year-old single guys going to prom. Like we want our F-Zero.
Are we talking F-Zero or Mighty Number 9 here?
No, we don't want it to become a Mighty Number 9 situation. We don't want that. We don't want that at all. Farrell, you got F-Zero thoughts?
F-Zero wasn't on my bingo board here, but I could see something F-Zero, maybe along the lines of maybe of a remake, possibly, especially with F-Zero 99 coming out. I do agree. I think I agree with Rad. I think the 99 though I think it's their weakest 99 title that they've come out with so far. I played it once or twice and I was like, I wasn't into it, but I wasn't a big F-Zero fan, to be fair. But no, Nintendo could use a racing game, so sure, why not? That F-Zero or Wave Race or something, maybe F-Zero Wave Race crossover.
You mean Mario Kart 8 update number 20 is not going to be enough for you?
Guess what?
Those
Mario Kart 8
were
is
pretty
coming
good.
back.
I did enjoy those updates. Those were good. That was some quality DLC.
Yeah. Speaking of racing, Jamie Owls, you don't want to see another Wave Race, right? You don't like Wave Race or 1080. You don't like that,
I
Jamie
like
Owls?
1080. I
No,
like Cruising USA.
no, you don't like those.
Good choice.
Cruising USA was good.
Good choice. Yes, it was.
Yeah, and then we did get a new cruising game. Is that Cruising Blast? That was actually a lot of fun. That was a good.
The game is wild.
It is
Good wild. But that was us cruising fans were right there.
Jason, your thoughts on either F-Zero or Star Fox?
I think you got better chance of a F-Zero than you do Star Fox. For whatever reason, those two titles they're down there with Donkey Kong. They don't want to put like anything out for them for whatever reason.
Because I could see like
Yeah.
they really would want to wait. Maybe they're waiting for a Star Fox on the Switch successor, where you've got like the PS4 Pro processing power, and you can have a true large epic space battle with
Yes.
that sort of.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I'm watching Rad's
Mhm.
reaction. Rad, what you got?
So okay, I wasn't told I had to talk about Star Fox. I got theories on that one. Okay,
Oh,
I think we're getting a Star Fox. I don't think it's going to be a new one. I think it will be I keep calling them remakes. They're not really a port. Let's call it a fancy port of the GameCube one. Now, as much as I would love for it to be adventure, it won't. Nobody played that, and there's a whole lot tied into that. I love that game, but it won't happen. I do, however, believe we will get a port, an HD version of Assault, leading us into a new Star Fox game.
Oh,
because
that would be
was perfect.
awesome.
I see that happening.
Could we pray to the Star Fox gods that it's a combination Assault command or command mission, the DS one, like a remaster? Can we make it a double pack of that? Because they did a double pack of Star Fox Zero and Guard. I mean,
it's possible. It could. I don't. I feel like the chance of us getting a double pack of anything Star Fox related is like non-existent. So I believe they're gonna do a DS online thing. I do believe that. So I could see it coming to that. I do believe that's gonna happen at some point. But I'm something Star Fox, please, Nintendo.
yes.
Mhm.
Please.
Farrell, any additional thoughts about Star Fox?
I think Star Fox is as dead as the fox from Fox and the Hound. So
Oh,
Ouch. Jamie Al's not happy seeing that. She's a resident Disney fan too.
So I mean, here's the thing, man. Miyamoto said himself, like, if Star Fox Zero doesn't do well, we're done. He said that back with E3 when they were showing it off. Like, this is the Star Fox's last chance, and it didn't do well. Did not sell well. And it just has not caught fire since Star Fox 64. We're going back to 1997, right? So we're going again another almost 30 years. I hate saying it. I know, Rad, you're not liking this, but I mean, it's tough. It's tough for me to even say it because I love Star Fox 64. That's my game of the year of 1997. Me and my buddy went back and forth. Those high scores. I would love to see Star Fox come back the right way and not like this all this weird stuff. I know Adventure has their fans, Command Mission, Assault. I know they have their fans, but they had no widespread appeal. Okay. The only two games that had widespread appeal was Star Fox 64 and the original Star Fox due to the technology that came out at the time.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they need to capitalize. If they're going to do Star Fox right, it needs to capitalize on the technology and capitalize on it right. They tried that with the Wii U, but they tried capitalizing on crappy technology. Everyone hated the tablet. So
Yes.
whatever the Switch 2's like gimmick, it's not gonna happen on the Switch, but if it happens, it's gonna happen on the Switch successor, and whatever like powerful like piece of hardware that's there or accessory or something, it's got to take advantage of that, because that's always what they've done. That's always been some type of, with Super Nintendo, the Super FX chip, it launched with that. N64, it was the Rumble Pack that lets you feel the game. So you got to have that draw, that hook to come into it, and you just can't keep remaking the same game. We got Star Fox remade 3 times in the 3 different games. They got to come up with something new. Do I think Nintendo puts that effort into the franchise when they're going to make money with other franchises? Unfortunately, I don't, but I would love to see it. I will absolutely love it. And see, I'm very passionate about Star Fox, even though I'm trying to be a realist at the same time.
Yeah, because when you say redone 3 times, the damn timeline has been rebooted a total of 3 times, with the Super
Yeah.
Nintendo, the Nintendo 64 continuing into Adventure Assault and Command Mission, and then 0. And it's like, as longtime Star Fox fans, we get tired of that bull crap. We just want, let's just continue the storyline, and the storyline that's probably the best, Star Fox 64s. Like that
Yeah.
one has proven to be the most story thematic, especially with some of the crazy crap that happens in Star Fox Assault.
If it happens and it's going to be successful, it'll be Star Fox 64 2.
I can't doubt it. I can't deny that. It's possible. Jamie Owls, any thoughts on Star Fox?
I agree with both Farrell. He made really excellent points, and he's absolutely right. And Red Bash, I'm the same way. I want another Star Fox. I know you guys mentioned remakes. I think it would be cool if they remade the very first one using modern technology and just to see how it would look. But I really predict that the announcement, I think they'll lead more towards F-Zero versus a Star Fox. I can only hope for Star Fox. I really do. I'm trying to hold on to hope. My other prediction, if / when they do make the announcement of F-Zero, Inferno Fox will be passed out on the floor from excitement, and I'll be
I don't think you'll be wrong, though. I don't want to be passed out for long, because
waving like
yeah.
Pour some water on him.
a bucket of water.
Moving on to a couple, and I'm going to speed round this a little bit because I don't want to focus too much on Nintendo franchises, but speed rounding Fire Emblem. I think it's all but guaranteed that we're going to be getting an announcement for Genealogy of the Holy War. It by far is the strongest predictor that we can make, because there's been multiple sources confirming it, like Nate Drake or Nate the Hater or whatnot. I could swear I've seen a leaked screenshot of it in the wild, and this is probably one of the more well-known Fire Emblems just based on the story in Japan. We've never gotten it in the US because it was one on the Super Famicom or Super Nintendo. I think that's I think it's a lock. I think we're going to get Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War. That's going to get announced. That'll be released by the end of the year. Any thoughts on that before I move on?
I was gonna suggest that Fire Emblem might be one of their last big games for the Switch, as a new one. I wasn't even thinking of the remake of one.
Yeah, because there's unfortunately for Fire Emblem fans, we just haven't gotten any Fire Emblem games on this.
It's been a while now.
On the Switch, we just haven't gotten anything. We've only gotten Three Houses, Hope, Three Hopes. We've gotten Tokyo Mirage Session. We've got Fire Emblem Engage. We've gotten, so yeah, we've had a dearth of the Fire Emblem games, and they're gonna round it out, I think, with Genealogy of the Holy War. Another franchise really quick too. I think I don't know if it's going to be this direct or September. The remake by the Bandai Namco team, heavily rumored, Kid Icarus Uprising, is going to be shown, announced. Farrell, any thoughts on that? Are you in agreement? Do you think that's a thing?
What gave you that impression? I thought I had this ready right next to me by any chance, but no, yeah, this is when this has been a rumored game since the Wii U. Is Kid Icarus Uprising HD. I think now's the time. Now's a good time for him to bring it out. It's on a console that's still hot, that's winding down, and it's a game that I think undersold what it should have sold, just given where the 3DS was at the time, and then some of the reviews were a little like, scared some people away about the controls and all that stuff. It's an excellent game. It could use a little touching up. It could. To be fair, I love the game. This was my game of the year. It came out. I do think, though, I think both subjectively and objectively, I do think Kid Icarus Uprising HD is a possibility leading up to a possible Kid Icarus Uprising 2 at some point, because we know Sakurai wants to be working on some other projects, and this was another one of his babies that he loved. So I think we get reintroduced to Pit, and what better way to do that with a remake for the Switch, for a game that was underappreciated, that was not hidden gem, but it was still a gem on the 3DS. So underappreciated gem, we'll call it, I guess. So yes, I have some very strong feelings about that coming out. I think that's a very strong possibility. We see the return of Pit.
Now, I think what will help sell it is kind of what they used to do in the late 80s, early 90s with some games, like David Crane Presents A Boy and His Blob. They should do Masahiro Sakurai Presents Kid Icarus Uprising, because Smash fans, Smash fans can be, a lot of them are hardcore and they know Sakurai. So that being said, if they see that it is one of his games, most of them know it's his game, but having that reminder will help to bring it to, oh yeah, this is a Sakurai game. I want to support him. I want to be able to get into this. I think they do that with the reveal trailer. It will add to the hype level.
Fair.
Moving on to the NSO, the Nintendo Switch Online. I'm going to open up general things here, but I'm going to be. I'll ask you, Rad. Do you think it's time for that Mother 3? Do we see Mother 3 get announced, released?
I wish. I hope. that would be nice. That's a stretch. But man, I hope. One could hope. That's all I got on that one.
Any other NSO predictions, Red?
It's so hard to really with something like that, because you look at like PlayStation with their I forget what you call it, the premium thing. They're finally bringing PS2 over. So people want to play the classics and things like that. But with Nintendo, I always feel like it's so like last minute, like we have nothing, let's do this. So this would be a good time for it. I did say I could see the DS at some point on the Switch specifically, coming over. But really, I got nothing as far as the Switch Online goes, the NSO. I hope they keep putting games out for it, if that means anything, because I like having the ability to play the classics. What was the last batch of games they put out? Do you guys remember?
I know in the last announcements was it February, they announced 4 or 5 of the Rareware games, like Snake Rattle and Roll, RC Pro-Am, Battletoads for the Super Nintendo. I think 2 Nintendo 64 games.
Alone in the Dark on the Game Boy Color made it over, didn't it?
Super Mario Land.
Oh yeah, that got and like Mario Tennis for the OG basic OG for an Alleyway, I think, were the last 3 for the Game Boy.
I could see an N64, something for the N64. That's
now
really about it.
I could see something like a Banjo-Tooie, or maybe we pray to the gods and we get a Diddy Kong Racing.
Oh man, wouldn't that be something? Yeah. Probably not, but wouldn't that be something?
if we get Diddy Kong Racing, that'll be the only DK thing you see.
Yeah, that's it. That's all you get. That's the one.
Yep.
Jason, do you see Pokemon Red and Blue ports?
No, Nope.
You know,
because
They could remake that in the original black and white, sell it for the $60 and still make their money. I don't see Pokemon ever coming to the NSO.
Farrell, how about you? What are your thoughts on any NSO editions?
Yeah, Mother 3 was on my bingo board for this one, so yeah, we're on the same page. I do think Mother 3 happens. And I'm not a huge Mother fan. I'm not a big Earthbound guy, but I think it happens. I think they bring it over. I think that's I don't think it's that difficult for them to bring over now. You know, I think that's something you bring over the GBA. And the reason why I say that is because GBA is on the Nintendo Premium online service. So that's why I do think that they'll bring it over. If it wasn't premium, then I'd say no. But I mean, if they did Earthbound Zero, or the very first Mother, if they did that, then they got to do Mother 3, right? So if they're going to go ahead through the effort of translating Mother 1, which nobody was really asking for, I mean, it was nice. It was a nice gesture to get that. You know, I think it's very likely we see Mother 3 come to GBA. It's such a long time coming. There's so many memes to it. Nintendo's played into the memes. So I mean, you know how aware they are of it, and I think they have a little fun with the announcement as well.
It would definitely get the hype level, and it would be a great way to increase or keep people subscribed to the NSO expansion pack as they transition into
Yes.
the new Switch successor, where they can reassure everybody that, oh, by the way, the Switch successor, every single one of the systems in the games and your saves all go to the successor. That's how they can keep attention. Before we move on to movies, Jamie Owls, any thoughts about items that'll appear classic games on the NSO?
The only one I could really think of is I hope they bring Cruis'n USA. Been itching to play that.
Yes.
I second that.
Yeah, I would be the fool that would buy the arcade version of that if they ever do that, like merge that in World. And yeah, Farrell and I have talked about that on a previous video, so make sure you check that out. Let's touch upon movies, because as we mentioned briefly, the Nintendo stuff had movie stuff on there. I think the good money is Zelda. Maybe we get somebody coming in and talking, oh, we're working on Zelda, and maybe we get pictures. I don't think we're going to get a trailer or anything. I don't see, and I literally just got a tweet that the 5 Mega Man games for the Game Boy just got added to the NSO. So Mega Man's 1 through 5 for the Game Boy just got added to the NSO.
I'm surprised they didn't save that for the direct.
Yeah.
Well, hey, it's been fun. I got to go do some stuff.
Farrell's out. He's gone.
So,
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Are you serious?
It literally just got added, and so like a little tweet with the
Awesome.
video.
All 5?
All 5.
Whoa.
I know what everyone's doing tonight.
That's crazy. Wow. No,
Cool.
yeah. That was random.
Yeah, oh my gosh. So you heard it here secondhand, because by the time this video posts at around 9 p.m. Tuesday Central, or 9 p.m. Central on Tuesday, not Tuesday, it's Thursday. Sorry.
Yes, it is.
Thursday on June 6th, Mega Man, all the Game Boy games. So that removes the idea that a certain collection of Game Boy games might be coming to like either the Switch or third-party systems. But movie-wise, getting back to that, I think it's Zelda, probably screen grab, screen pictures. I don't think we're going to hear anything from Mario 2 movie or a Donkey Kong movie. Jamie Owls, do you agree? Do you think of anything with the Mario movie or any movies with Nintendo?
I really think that they might make some sort of announcement. Of course, at the very end that we all saw the egg, which really excites me.
Oh, in the Mario movie, yeah.
Which that really tells me that the second one's gonna at least have Yoshi or Yoshis shown around a lot more.
Mhm.
I think it'll be really cool to at least make some sort of announcement, because I think it was rumored how they were in the talks about making the second one. So hopefully they'll at least mention I know this rumor has been going around a while, but of a Metroid announcement for a movie. Because I think the longest time they talked about Charlize Theron.
Yeah,
And
that was in the aughts that she was going to
yeah,
be a
I know.
thing. And
Yeah, it's been like like a very long rumor. And then I know they talked about that actress that played Captain Marvel. I forgot her name. They mentioned her to be Samus. So I mean, it's movie video game movies that are more popular. All the hero
the comic book movies.
superheroes are kind of dying down, so it's now video games.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Um, any other thoughts on movies, guys, before we move on to the last segment for
I could
Nintendo?
actually see them putting a teaser for Mario 2 out.
This
I don't see a Zelda. I don't see a Metroid. I don't even know if the DK movie's still in the works at the
so,
moment, but
so the problem is that Miyamoto can only work on one of these movies at a
you're
time, and
right.
he's confirmed he's working on Zelda right now.
Oh, really?
Yep. So he is working, and it's going to be live action. So
Oh, no, that'll be interesting.
I think we're going to start to see some fruits of the labor on that, and that's why I don't think we're going to see Mario yet. Not to say that Miyamoto can't do two things at once, but I think he's focused on Zelda, which, by the way, if we got him focusing on all of this movie BS and off of the games, I think that's a good thing because I have thoughts on Miyamoto. He has a habit of over managing stuff, and I think he's been heavy with that. But um, any franchises that I've missed, Jason, Farrell, before I kick off with you, any franchises that I missed that you could see appearing?
Very small teaser for Pokemon, but nothing major. Nothing major because Pokemon always has their own
Yep,
directs.
yep.
So
I was gonna say they might show Pokemon if they're
I,
hard pressed for content.
again, a small teaser or maybe the side game. Maybe
Yeah,
they might give a side game Pokemon, but they won't do anything major on Pokemon at all.
I think they're gonna be so strong on content they won't show Pokemon. They won't need to because they're gonna have another Pokemon Direct in a week or
Right.
two.
Yep. I was gonna say Pokemon has their own. I don't see anything major there. As for anything else, there's nothing racking my head Nintendo wise that I could sit there and go, yeah, there's something else to throw at. So
Farrell, how about you?
I am shocked you did not bring this game up. So I got two. I got two games. I thought for sure you're going to bring this up, but it's got to be. It's not. We can't call it remake, right? Because they don't do that. They don't call it that. It's going to be Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. We're going to see the definitive edition, so I can finally look at this art book because I have never played it, so I can't look at this art book until I do. But we're going to see the definitive. We know Monolith Soft. I've sent you numerous screenshots of every time Monolith. Because I stalk Monolith Soft's X page and it's in Japanese and I translate it. And they're like, hey, now they're looking for public relations people, which means, oh, now they're looking to start putting something out there. So I think we see the Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. It's a shame. Even myself, I didn't play. I skipped out on it on the Wii U because I heard it. It did not perform that well. A lot like how Xenoblade Chronicles did not perform well on the Wii. So I was like, hey, I don't. It turned me away from it until I got to the Switch. But I think we see that come out for the Switch. We see that we have the entire Xenoblade Chronicles franchise on one system. I think that'd be a great game going into the holiday. We needed a big RPG title to kind of compete with these other RPGs out there. So I think we see that. That's easy enough one to do. And we know Monolith Soft has been busy at work on a Xenoblade title because of everything they've been posting on X. So I think that's an obvious one that we'll see. I'd be very surprised if we don't see it. Now, I do think there is another franchise we missed, and I think it's a brand new title. I think we see and Greg, I think you'll like this one. I think we see a brand new 2D Kirby game for the Switch. If not a 2D Kirby, if it's not a 2D game, maybe a 99 game with Kirby.
Oh yeah, new 99.
Something Kirby, yeah. That's because Return to Dreamland was last year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's oh,
I was gonna say that's
what I was going to say really quick. I'm sorry, Jason.
that's okay.
Adding into Farrell's logic, I could swear that there was a leak that Monolith is working on a project codenamed Legends or Legend or something. So what better than a remake or remaster than Xenoblade X? Sorry, Jason, please go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say the 99 slipped my mind there, but you bringing that up, it may not be a Kirby, but I think there'll be a new 99 of something.
Agreed.
It may not be Kirby, but it'll be a new 99 game.
Donkey
Agreed.
Kong.
Or
Donkey Kong 99?
Kirby Fall Guys type of a
Yeah.
clone, Kirby 99.
Animal Crossing.
Ooh.
Wasn't that Kirby? Was it Dream Buffet or whatever? Wasn't it kind of similar to Fall Guys in a way?
Oh yeah, you're right. I think so. So then that thankfully no.
and Jamie Ellis just brought up Animal Crossing. I don't think we'll get a new one until Switch 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Agreed.
thought about that too. I think you're right.
Because they want to sell the new system, and what better
Yeah.
way
Mhm.
than the third best-selling Switch game?
Mhm.
Yep.
Rad, any franchises that I missed for Nintendo?
I mean, Farrell brought up Kirby, but I could see a 99. I don't think we'll get a new game, obviously. But I could see, man, I would love to see them retouch the Dreamland series, even if it's just in like a 2D like remake style. That would be a dream come true. I could die happy. But I don't know. I feel like we've gotten so much Kirby lately. I don't see them doing really anything major with it. But Kirby is kind of there. Oh, we don't have a game. Here's a Kirby game. Oh, we don't have anything. Here's a Kirby game. Oh, you're bored, Kirby. Like, yeah, you get a Kirby and you get a Kirby. So I wouldn't be shocked if something Kirby did come out. I don't see it being anything like crazy. I'll buy it either way. It's Kirby, but I don't see anything major.
Based on your logic, that explains why there was so much Kirby for the 3DS and Wii U. Nintendo had like nothing, but at least they had some banger Kirby games.
Kirby, make it rain, Kirby. Yep, that's all they had. Yep.
Let's move on to third party here and talk about some of the support that they've gotten. I've got two pretty much guaranteed things, two different third parties. First, Square Enix, this is all but confirmed. We will be seeing the Dragon Quest HD 2D Erdrick trilogy. And not only is it being reshown from the 2020 or 2021 really odd Dragon Quest presentation they had in that January that year where they showed HD 2D, but it's an all but certainty, and it's going to be all three games, and it's going to be marvelous, and I'm going to be happy. And based on what the little 2-minute demo that they showed, if they have that and just the whole Team Asano look of everything, it's going to be a banger. Like that's like the easy money, and I'll hope that they do the Zenithian trilogy, or maybe they remaster 8 or something like that. But yeah, the lock is the Dragon Quest Erdrick trilogy. Farrell, any thoughts on Square Enix?
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head with the Dragon Quest 2D HD. And we saw I don't know if they've necessarily come out and said that it was going to be a trilogy, but I mean that teaser they brought out, it didn't say Dragon Quest 3 on it. It said Dragon Quest right on there. They talked about the Legend of Erdrick. So I do, everyone's saying like, hey, that 1 through 3 is a good possibility. Yeah, I've been waiting to get that. That's one of my top games I've been waiting for, because I've always loved the idea of Dragon Quest 3, but the way it's always been implemented has never been very great. It's always just been missing something. I think this is finally going to bring that title home and be the real definitive version of it. I think we see some more filler from Square Enix as well. I think, and this might be some bias here speaking, but I mean, I think we see some. I think because they need something more Final Fantasy on the Switch because Final Fantasy train is kind of going right now. And I think we see maybe some ports, maybe Final Fantasy 4 3D remake, along with its the sequel, the Wonder Years or whatever it was called, the After Years, starring Fred Savage as Cecil, son. But I think we see Final Fantasy 4 3D remake. I'm surprised we hadn't seen that come to modern consoles yet, because they've ported that a few different times to other different, with iOS and Android. So I mean, the game, it's out there, it's easy money at this point. So I think that's another one we see is Final Fantasy 4 3D remake, and maybe it's also its sequel as well. Maybe it's even in a kind of a double pack as well to kind of sell it a little bit better.
Nice. Jason, your thoughts on Square Enix?
Squeenix. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know if they'll have anything like super new. Yeah, I can't see any new titles. Just maybe like the Farrell said, like a remake or remastered game, but nothing that comes out. Like in my head, I'm just drawing a blank on them. Like.
How about you, Rad? What are your thoughts on Square Enix?
Kingdom Hearts 4, baby. Kingdom Hearts 4. It's
Ooh.
coming. I'm just kidding. No, they got nothing.
The Switch
Nothing.
cloud version.
Switch
it's a cloud to the
exclusive
cloud.
cloud version. Yeah, no, I don't see it. Maybe like one of those little remakes, but yeah, outside of that, I don't see them doing. They have the. I think they're focused on other things right now, so I don't really see anything.
That makes sense. Jamie Owl's Parasite Eve.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
One could hope.
Yeah.
Kind
I
of
would love to see
hope
it.
against hope here. Kind of tangentially to Square Enix, another all but certainty, and this is something I am really excited for. Mistwalker, they are very strongly strong rumors that Fantasian is finally getting ported to consoles after sitting in the Apple Arcade for a little over 3 years. And both this and the Dragon Quest trilogy are part of the Midori leaks. And theirs, he, she, they's leaks have been correct. Like it's like 90 or 99% accuracy or something like that. So this is cool because this was Fantasian was either produced or directed by Hironobu Sakaguchi, and the OST, the soundtrack, was by Nobuo Uematsu. So being able to play it on an actual console would be fantastic. Even better if we got physical copies. Beyond that, I'll hope against hope and wish against fate that we'll see Chrono Trigger in some sort of way, shape, or form. Ain't gonna happen. That is the accurate response, Red. That is absolutely
funny.
accurate.
You got jokes.
That is 100% accurate, because the reality is, I mean, come on, Square, just throw the freaking the PC port. Just throw the PC port that has been updated onto the Switch. Easy money.
Or just put it on the NSO. I'd be happy with that.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Super Nintendo version, probably it's the best version. It is
Agreed.
the best.
Yeah.
Now we're going to get into this. Will be tough because Jason 13th here doesn't like this third party company very much, especially a lot of their mascot games. Capcom.
Oh, what?
I know Jason doesn't like Capcom stuff.
Oh, I'm out.
Yeah, I
I'm
know.
done. Don't invite me ever again. What is this? What? Oh, whoa. Mm.
So yeah, I know Jason, you don't like Capcom that much. No, seriously, like this is another hope against hope sort of thing. And the little tweet that we just got, that I just revealed about the series coming to the Game Boy, I'm hearing that boxes have been given out to certain influencers in the YouTube community for a Capcom showcase or something like that. Last time they did that was for a December 2017 showcase, when they revealed for a 30th anniversary, and they revealed Mega Man 11. Where there's smoke is there fire. Jason, thoughts on a potential Mega Man anything reveal at this point?
if we get Mega Man, I know it's rough for them to do new Mega Mans, but there's still a few collections that we could get that they haven't put out. I would love to see Mega Man, was it the Star Force? Because I never got to actually play those, so that would be an awesome collection to pick up. If they're doing the Game Boy one, maybe we'll actually get a Mega Man Game Boy collection, which would be awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't see them doing the software collection because they just ported it to the NSO. But
Right.
Rad, you have a finger up.
I think Jason's right though, because that's just the Switch. I think they would do a collection, one physically, and two for all the other, PlayStation, Xbox, things like that. They love their Mega Man collections. I think he's on the money there. I do see that happening.
I hope so. I'm still hoping for like a general collection, like you said, Star Force, or a miscellaneous sort of
Yeah, miscellaneous one. The
where they
soccer,
throw
the battles, the
Ooh,
and then
that
like
would be good.
Mega Man X Street Fighter.
yeah.
I guess I'll ask somebody who I think you're a Mega Man fan, Farrell, right?
What is Mega Man? I don't know. But I had two thoughts in this. I've been talking about you just blew me away. You saw my mind get blown away on the stream. Like my brain's all over the place right now. But I was thinking one of two things. I was thinking Mega Man miscellaneous collection. I was just talking about this other night. I'm like, hey, Mega Man Soccer, Mega Man Game Boy games, maybe the Power Battle games. But because Capcom is gearing up for Mega Man right now, because because I even know about this, right? So we got Mega Man Game Boy games coming to Switch Online. Okay, great. We got the Mega Man coffee collection that just got announced. So they partnered up with some coffee company. They've got this these beanies they just showed on their X uh, uh, page. It was like a Rush and a Mega Man beanies that they showed, and something I just pre-ordered, coming soon to the Feral Inferno channel. They announced with a partnership with Evercade, and they're doing a countercade style Mega Man. It's called the Mega Man Alpha Cade, and it's got the Mega Man Power Battle games on there, which was huge. I was like, that blew me away too. Like this is like the Mega Man, like this really is Mega June right now. Like this is crazy. I mean, I thought I started Mega June 3 years ago, and look what it's blossomed into. So if we get Mega Man 12 in a couple days, whether it's in the Capcom showcase, the Nintendo showcase, you can thank Feral Inferno for that one. But I do think, I think we see Mega Man 12. I mean, I was kind of like, we've talked about this, but I was kind of like, I don't know, maybe Mega Man's done. I don't know. I'm getting hyped for Mega Man 12 now, or Mega Man X9. There's got to be there's something big Mega Man coming. I can smell it.
Two things. The Mega Man did also have a showing with Exo Primal. It was Exo Primal Cross Mega Man. So, and then second thing is you're not wrong, because Capcom has been re-upping their copyrights for Mega Man's 12, 13, and 14. So it's not impossible that we see something like that. Rad, what are your thoughts with Capcom and Mega Man, or even just general Capcom?
So we're talking Nintendo Switch. So what I'm hoping for from Capcom likely won't be in this. I personally, I do believe Farrell is gonna get him some Mega Man. Farrell and Jason are gonna enjoy some Mega Man. I see it coming.
Yes.
I don't know if it'll be a new entry into say the big series. I see you guys getting some collections soon. But I'm banking on anything Resident Evil. I've seen some sweet leaks, and obviously I don't see this coming in the Switch announcement, but I'm banking on some sweet Resident Evil here pretty soon in my life.
What I could see is not only Resident Evil, but for like a Switch successor. I could see them doing like a series of releases of 7 and 8 and 2, 3, 4 remake for the Switch successor. I think we're going to see Capcom's Monster Hunter Wilds come to the Switch successor, and it's been announced and confirmed for the PlayStation, but I don't recall seeing exclusivity. I could be wrong. We could also see Dragon's Dogma for the Switch successor, which would be a big freaking get, but not the Switch. But I think we're gonna be hitting some Mega Man goodness. Speaking of classic third parties, I think we're going to be getting release dates and more information. It's going to be probably by the end of the year for the Suikoden 1 and 2 remasters by Konami. I think that's coming. It's been real quiet. I think we're going to see another trailer. It's going to get in a Nintendo stuff is really good for RPGs. I've noticed at the Nintendo Directs.
Yes.
And that's why I could see that being part and parcel for this. Although maybe it's going to be a surprise because we're supposed to be getting Persona. I've heard rumors of Persona 6 reveals being done for the Xbox showcase on Sunday. So, or something Persona related and not even beyond metaphor. But maybe they surprise us by showing something JRPG related on the Xbox thing. I'm not too quite sure. Regarding Konami, is there anything that you guys could think of that you could see on the Switch?
Maybe like Devil May Cry.
Well, the Devil May Cry is Capcom, but
Oh,
because
my bad.
they
Very
got
similar. I used to think the same thing. So you're not alone. I used to think it was Konami too. So yep, that makes sense. I thought that for years.
yeah, and like maybe we get another Devil May Cry that was on like the PS3 for the Switch. But any other
I could
property?
hope on Konami. I can hope like you hope with Chrono Trigger that Vandal Hearts gets re-released.
Ooh, that would be
fell in
good.
love with the original Vandal Hearts. 2 I didn't like as much, but the original Vandal Hearts, oh my god, if they could re-release that, I would love it.
Rad, what are your thoughts about Castlevania making an appearance?
No, we're not getting anything Castlevania other than these random collab projects. That's all we get. We don't get anything. I talk to Bellman all the time. I'm like, I hear Castlevania, and then it's Dead by Daylight. I'm like, no. No, they've abandoned. That is just something they throw to other people. We're not getting anything Castlevania.
I mean, at this point, I'll take a Castlevania DS collection.
Yes.
Ooh,
That's what I've been
Metroidvanias.
saying. Yes, a DS now is the perfect time for the DS collection. Yep. See, you get me. I could go on a whole thing about that. I talked about that the other day. Yep, 100% agree.
Farrell, any thoughts on Konami?
Same DS collection. DS collection. We got to see. I love Portrait of Ruin. I've talked about that a few times. I can gush about that game. No, I'm not so big on Order of Ecclesia, but I didn't get to play the other DS game. I never got a chance to play that one.
The best. Oh, it's my personal favorite.
I know a lot of people love that game, so I'm excited to try that out if a collection comes out, or maybe I have to pick up. So here's what happens: I go pick it up on the aftermarket, pay a whole bunch of money, used, and then we get a collection maybe 2 months later. So that's what likely happens.
Isn't that the truth? It happens every time. I feel like I add a big rare game to my collection. I'm like, yeah, and they're like, oh yeah, now it's on this. I'm like, mother, super mad. Yep.
Now, if we talk about third party, we got to touch upon indies because Nintendo is very, very, very heavy with the indies. And I'm going to call the big elephant in the room. We will not see Silk Song. Silk Song you will not see on the Nintendo Direct because it's going to already get revealed on the Xbox showcase.
Yep. 100%.
Farrell, what are your thoughts? Indies.
Oh, we are opposites on this. You, Rad and Fox, man. Silk Song's my third party my list here. Silk Song is number one, and here I'll tell you why that is. That just changed recently. I was like, oh, maybe you'll see Silk Song. It's always maybe, right? With Silk Song, what did Nintendo just do? What is their demo game of the month? Hollow Knight. Hollow Knight is like their demo game of the month right now. That is like a smoke signal to the stars, man. We are going to see Silk Song on the Nintendo Direct. I won't, it'll be somewhere in there. I think Silk Song gets announced on the Nintendo Direct. When I saw that, I was like, come on, that's a signal right there. But if I've ever seen one.
Shadow Drop?
What's that?
No. Do you think it's going to be Shadow Dropped?
No.
Shadow drop? No, I don't think so.
It's
No,
too
but I
big at this
think
point, right?
Yep.
no,
Too
yeah, it's
big.
too big. It's too big for a shadow drop. But I do, and I think we see physical as well for it. I mean, if they did shadow drop, if they did shadow drop, they'd also say, hey, physical coming soon as well. I think to kind of hype up like it coming to the physical part of it at least, because there's going to be more hype coming up to it. But I do think Silksong shows up at this direct, and I think Nintendo gets the honor of showing it, because I think if I remember right, Hollow Knight did really well on the Switch.
It did.
Mm-hmm. Jamie Ells, do you have any thoughts on any indies popping up on the Nintendo Direct?
My guess would be other cozy games.
That's
Little cozy games. They always seem to announce cozy games
Yeah.
every direct.
That's a safe bet. That's a safe assumption. Yeah, they
You
do
mean
that.
we're not going to be disappointed like the one direct where we had like 20 farming games?
oh yeah, that one
Farming,
literally
yeah.
eight different farming games. They
Yep.
counted it.
I also I could see them coming out with one of like those Nintendo pet games, like Nintendo cats, Nintendo dogs.
Oh yeah, that would actually be a really good end cap for
Mhm.
the Switch. And that's actually a first party of Nintendo where it's like, okay, you've had the Animal Crossing, they of course have the Tamagotchi Life series, and you got the Nintendogs and the
Mhm.
Nintendo cats. I could see that. That's a good one. Um, any other third parties that I might have missed? Jason, I'm gonna bug you first.
Probably a lot. I just don't know them. I'm sure that we'll see a bunch of random indie games and stuff, then just little games that they like to feature, but I don't know like any in particular that I could throw a name out there on it.
Farrell, how about you? Any third parties or indies I might have missed?
Yeah, I got three others that I was thinking about. There's two other indies as well. I think it's definite. We'll see. We already know about the game, but I think we'll see more of Shantae Advance. I think we'll see a little bit more of that because that's coming out soon. I think we see a port of Hunt the Night. It's a game from, I believe it was Dangan who made that. It's a kind of a Zelda roguelike kind of game. But it was a beautiful game they showed years ago. I think it was E3 or a Summer Game Fest or one of those shows, and then it only came to Steam. And from people I've talked to said it was amazing. So I think we see maybe a port of that to the Switch. That would be cool to see that come to the Switch as well. It's another indie game, another filler that they can put in there for the end of the Switch's life cycle. And I think we see a little bit more with Rare and Xbox. I think we see a port of Killer Instinct 2013
Ooh.
come to the Switch.
And not the successor, the actual Switch.
The actual Switch. Yeah, I think we see a port of KI 2013 come to the regular Switch. I think that'd be another kind of build up Killer Instinct brand a little bit, so that they can release another Killer Instinct somewhere down the line.
I've heard that fighting game is fire. I've heard it's really good.
Ooh.
It is combo heavy.
Nice. Interesting. Yeah, I totally forgot about that. I think we were talking a little bit Rare wise with Diddy Kong, but Brad, any third parties or indies I might have missed?
So I want to touch on something real quick, Farrell. So Hunt the Night is now listed on all the consoles, so you may be correct. That may be because it's not listed on the store, but it's showing that it's supposedly on Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo Switch. So that may be happening, and they just updated it. I think you're correct on that one. Two, I think we're gonna see a lot of hey, this is gonna be on PlayStation and like how they do like the cross promotion things, like, oh yeah, this is over here. I could see something Epic Mickey related.
Oh
People
yeah,
are really
that's
hyped
right.
for
They
that.
did announce the Epic Mickey remake.
Yep. I could see that because they're getting close to that coming out. So I could see a lot of the on everything else and Nintendo Switch. Something I hope for, it likely never will happen, and that's Untitled Goose Game 2.
Oh.
I loved Untitled Goose Game. That was one of those sleeper hits that the people were like, what is this? What's going on with this? It was Nintendo, and then it got everywhere else. But man, I hope, because they had the the luxury of having it first and announcing it first and things like that. I'm hopeful that we get a Untitled Goose Game too, because that's a game, if nobody's played it, it's a joy. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, that for me, that was one of the games I listed as the anti-bucket list because I played through it from start to finish, but then and I did all the fun, silly goose stuff, but then that was it. I'm like,
Yeah.
if I try and do it again, it's all the same stuff, but
Yeah. It's a one-time game.
but like it's like 5 hours of pure joy. I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't like joy, then what are you doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Bonkers on bonkers.
Yes. Jamie Al's any other third parties or indies that I might have missed?
I'm sure there's a lot. I just can't think right now.
That's all right. As we wrap things up here, one of the I want to end on the tropes, the funny tropes that we see on every Nintendo Direct. And Jamie, you sort of like hinted at that. And one of the things that I always see in there is the feel good game, where the narrator has that soft voice,
Yes.
and the footage shows happy looking characters talking to one another, and it's almost like they're in some sort of community and they're working together. And then obviously the farming sim, sometimes it's
Yep.
one or the other are actually exclusive, which by the way, that really sucks because they announced Harvestella within the plethora of all of these farming sims that were announced, and Harvestella, from what I've been hearing, is like a seriously really good RPG slash farming sim, but you wouldn't know it because it was just
It got buried in
yeah.
everything
Yeah.
else.
in all of those other farming sims. And so like by falling into those tropes, it ends up hurting some of the games that
Yeah.
they feature. Jason, any funny tropes you see being oft repeated with the direct here?
Other than those, whatever the top anime is, you'll probably get an anime game somewhere thrown in there. That's about the only other thing I can think of
Oh
because
my
there's
God.
usually some kind of anime game that gets released.
I wonder if Sparking Zero is coming to the Switch.
Hmm.
If it is, I can't remember. I know it's obvious it's going to PS5, PC, Steam, and Xbox. If it's coming to the Switch, we're going to lose 2 to 3 minutes with a trailer to that, or hopefully just 30 seconds. Because that's the newest Dragon Ball Z Tenkaichi Budokai game. I don't want to play it on the Switch. I'd want to play it on the PS5
Yep.
or the Xbox. Farrell, how about you? What sort of tropes do you see Nintendo falling in line with on the Direct?
Well, sure. I think we see two. I think something we kind of the theme of our show a little bit is ports. I think that's
Yes.
the theme of the show. That's the big trope. And the other trope is the thing we see in every Nintendo Direct. They do the thing that I can't do, but I'll try to do it anyways. They snap their fingers and now take a look at this. They snap their
Yes.
fingers.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
It triggers me every time because I can't snap my fingers. So
Same. I can't either. Oh, yep.
I can snap my mouth. Not very loud, but I can do it.
that's probably not a good thing.
Rad, how about you? What sort of tropes are you thinking you're gonna see, or that we're gonna see with this Direct?
We'll get that at the very end. They're like, but wait, we have one more thing to show you, and it's
One
some
more thing.
big thing. Yeah, we'll get that, but we get that every time. It's though, but wait, there's more. Yeah, we'll get that. We'll absolutely get that.
And I'm going to end things with us each guessing what that last reveal is. But Jamie Owls, what sort of trope do you see oft repeating with this Direct?
I've noticed that when they announce like a happy-go-lucky game, the narrator's voice is all cheerful, and then it goes onto the next game, which is more darker, and so the narrator's voice is more sinister, and then goes back up. It's kind of like a roller coaster. It goes from happy to sad, happy to sad.
That's a good one. Oh man. I was going to have a thing where we predict what the start and the finish is, but let's finish this with our last guess what we think the Nintendo Direct will end on. I think the Direct is going to end on Metroid Prime 4.
Fair. That's fair.
Rad, what do you think the direct's going to end on?
I would say a name for the next system. I would say that's it. We're gonna get the Switch U. That's definitely happening. It will be called the Switch U.
Oh gosh.
But no, I think that's big enough, but not anything like it's just a name. Because as far as I know, they haven't announced the name, right? I haven't seen anything
Yep.
about that.
You're correct.
So I would say we'll get the name. They'll say, oh, the Switch. I'm gonna call it the Switch 2 because I can't think of anything else. The Switch 2, we'll get the name and that's it.
Jamie Owls, how about you? What do you think the last showing on the direct's going to be?
I'm really with on the whole Metroid, but this is just me personally. I wonder if they'll end it on something totally on the whim or very unexpected. Like they'll announce like some sort of game that no one expected, like a remake of Fester's Quest or something.
Oh God. It's the game that everybody was asking for. You just didn't know it.
Yeah, like here you go. They couldn't think of anything else.
Fester's Quest, man. They've just lost a bunch of customers.
Not ET.
Oh God. Farrell, how about you? What do you see the direct ending with?
So I've got the sibling theory here going on, and I think they opened the direct with Kid Icarus Uprising HD. They get Pit flying in, saying, hey, again, like they did in E3 2008, 2009, saying, hey, sorry to keep you waiting. They kind of repeat that a little bit. And then they end because Kid Icarus and Metroid are kind of, they're back in the NES days were kind of brother-sister games. They came out around the same time. They had the same development kind of cycle going on. They had the same theories kind of going on with the game, just implemented a little differently. And then I do think we see Metroid at the end, but differently. I think that they start with saying like, hey, like I was saying earlier, hey, here's a little teaser of Metroid Prime 4. So sorry for the wait. Just give us a little bit more time. And because it's going to be a bridge title, like Jason was saying, it's going to be that Breath of the Wild bridge title. Although I do think it'll be a little bit different. I think it's going to be on the same cartridge. They're not going to sell two different versions. It's going to come in this, like this cartridge is going to work in both the Switch and the Switch successor. That's my theory on that. So like, hey, if you buy it, maybe it comes out early on the Switch, possibly. You could still play it on the other Switch and it upgrades the graphics or something, possibly. That's another wild card thing. But I think at the actual closing, they're going to say, hey, here's Metroid Prime 2 remastered, and they close on that and then hey, it's coming out in like 2 weeks, like they did with Metroid Prime.
Now, what sort of over under if we get a Metroid Prime 4 trailer, what over under are we gonna have to show a Samus without her suit ass shot? Well, what sort of over under? What is the chance that we're gonna get some TNA with Samus without her suit because they want to try to attract the weebs to the game?
They don't need to attract the weeps, though. It's a big enough game.
I hope so. I hope so, because the game is awesome enough. You don't need to even deal with that.
I mean, I wouldn't complain. I'm not saying I would complain.
Jason, how about you? What do you see the direct ending with?
Smash Brothers. No, I'm on the same page. I honestly think that I could see them ending it with a Metroid Prime 2 remake and then go from a Metroid Prime 2 remake trailer to oh my god, I can't spit out the word. Transition to a Metroid Prime 4.
There we go.
End with that.
Nice. Yeah, so it seems like we're pretty certain we'll see some Metroid Prime 4. It'll probably be in the end.
hoping beyond belief.
Me too. And it makes me wonder if they open with that. If they open with 4, then we will be in for one heck of a show.
Yeah.
It's my thought. Because what could top the only thing that could top 4 as a beginner, it would be the Switch successor being revealed by a name, a look, feature such as backwards
Oh.
compatible something.
I could see them mixing, if they do a Metroid Prime 4 as the finale, mixing that in with the name for the new system and like giving us a look at the system at the same time.
Yeah, Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch U for Rad Bash. Oh my gosh, that's too fun. But alrighty, as we wrap things up here, I just want to say thanks again to everybody here for joining me to do our predictions episode. We ran a little bit long, but we had a lot of fun hitting all of the top spots. Nintendo franchises, third-party tropes, and more. And again, huge thanks to everyone. I'm going to make sure to link their YouTube sites in the description below. So make sure that you check out their YouTube sites and you subscribe and everything. And yeah, that's any parting shots, parting thoughts. Hit a Chris. I hope we see more Nintendo stuff than anything, but and
Yes.
let's get some Mega Man, some Dragon Quest. So and hopefully it's next week. I'm hoping. And make sure that you are subscribed, of course, to everyone's channels here and to Inferno Fox Gaming, because we will be doing hopefully we'll be doing a live reacts after the direct, the evening of the direct, with all of us here pending schedule. So make sure you're subscribed to that. But thank you again for joining us, and we hope you have a great day.